I'll start the lows. And hey, welcome everyone on Clubhouse, LinkedIn, Facebook, Twitter, YouTube. It's so much fun to be able to do the stream live. And what I'd like to say is if you're in the audience, the audio will come from Clubhouse. And I'm for those in Clubhouse, I'm just holding up my little iPad, and we could actually see who's here and what we're doing. And so the if you're interested in talking on Clubhouse, just raise your hand. We'll move you into the speaker spot. If you're interested in being live on StreamYard, let me know, and I'll put into the chat when I have a moment. I'll put in the chat the actual link you could use to join us on StreamYard. Or Adrian, if you have that, maybe you could put that in the chat. The stream on Dr. Laura. Welcome.
Hi, Dr. Laura. I actually don't have that, but Mitchell, you're welcome to. If you can, you text that to me, and I'll be happy to pin it to the room.
Oh, absolutely. Well, it's in the here's the cool part. I will give that to you. Let's see, text. Do you mind if I do it on WhatsApp?
You can do it any way you want.
All right. And at Ben Gay the Third, great to see you. Feel free to join us. I will also send to you the link that you can use to join us live. It was really interesting this week. And that was, I'd love to type it in. Oh, Dr. Laura, you actually have it too. It's in the calendar invite. If you want to share that with people. I'm just giving that to you right now, Adrian. So it's in the chat. If you want to join me on StreamYard, it's aha.pub/clubhouse. No, it's too many words. Never mind. We'll just put that in the chat so you can click on it. So I'll start off with just a little bit that I'll say hi. Oh, hey, Shushma, welcome. Glad you're here joining us on social.
Mitch, you have to make me a mod. I can't pin something about it. We can't change anything at the top because we're moderators. Yeah, I'll pin it, Dr. Laura, if that's okay.
Fixed and fixed. Thank you. So I want to share one thing that came out of, and then once again, raise your hand if you want to jump up into to join us for speaking. I want to share something that just happened. Last 2 days, we had the Ultimate Credibility Bootcamp, and it brought clarity and purpose for who I am and what I'm doing, and for those in the audience. And it was so amazingly spectacular, and in so many different ways. And for those who have followed me, I've interviewed 500 thought leaders on credibility, and 98% of those people cannot articulate in 10 words or less who they serve and how they serve them. And that's what we taught. And what I realized is when you can do that, when you have that clarity, you actually have credibility. When you have that clarity, you have confidence. When you have that clarity, you have peace of mind. Because you don't need to sell anymore. You just show up. You show up, and you're you, and the people who see you want to follow you because they feel your energy, they feel your presence, they feel your focus. And I'm really excited about this. And so I'm continually looking for partners, people to play with, people to say hello to, people to actually share. And so, speaking of partners, people on stage, do you want to say hi, Adrian? Why don't you come and say hi first? And Dr. Laura, say hi as well.
So, Mitchell, thank you so much. Hi, everyone. I'm Adrian Barker from Daytona Beach, Florida. We do have some welcome to the newbies in the room. I know Sam and Raymond and Tom. And just to give you a quick little view, on the bottom on the left side, you'll see a bubble. Right now it has a number 3. That's called the chat box. You can put anything, questions you have in the chat. With the arrow up, you can share the room. You can make comments in the room. And the scissors is where you could actually snip and get like 30 seconds, which is a lot of fun. And then you also can raise your hand and say that you want to come up, and they've just made some changes. So Dr. Laura, she may know where the hand raising is because I don't even see where that is, but and I couldn't pin the link. So if Dr. Laura could do that. And I just want to say, Mitchell, so Sam and I were talking this morning, and Sam was saying about how he is thinking that he really has to kind of take his time right now and not be open 24/7 and maybe set a few hours a day where he would be available. And I thought, my God, that's really like living your value and saying to yourself, okay, I need to make sure that I'm only doing from 7 to 10 like open hours, and the rest of the time I'm not. And I told Sam, at my age, it's so embedded to me. Like, I respond to emails 24/7. So I love when someone is like full of boundaries, but I wasn't sure if that's part of living their value. To me, it is. I just wanted to bring that up to you. And so I'm Adrienne Barker, and I'm throwing back the mic to you, Mitchell.
I think that's a great question. So tell me what that means to you. I heard what you just said. Do you think is that living your values? Tell me why you think it is or is not.
Okay, good question. So for Sam, I'm thinking that so yes, if you value your time and it's important to you to not be interrupted so that you can focus, that you get actually more out of the time that you are dedicating to your clients and the time you're dedicating to yourself, then I think that it is living your value because you understand what you need and then you are working towards gaining it. So, and then for me, I'm thinking, okay, I could absolutely being so stubborn and kind of using the excuse, well, this is the way I've always been, and I'm so customer service driven, and oh my God, someone sends me an email, I want to at least let them know that I've seen it and it's not lost in the metaverse. And so, but am I living my value by doing that? And the answer probably is no. Am I thinking maybe at the moment, like a delicious piece of chocolate that's going to add weight to my hips later on? I kind of think it the same way. I'm adding stress to myself because I'm not living my value. And that's a piece of it that I think is important. So I love that Sam's in the room, and I love that you are talking about and asking me. I'm Adrienne, and I'm giving you back the mic.
Yeah, I'm going to say, so let me respond to that directly, Dr. Laura, because I know you have an opinion on that one too. And what's interesting is when you don't have that, let's use the word clarity. When you don't have that level of clarity of where you're focusing, it's really hard to live your values, because the clarity is I think the most simplest thing in the world to think about is we need to have clarity and confidence and understanding who we are. That's how we're confident. You have to be credible internally before you can be credible externally. Now, when you have clarity, it's about clarity of who you serve and how you serve them. When you have a clearly defined audience, a playground, what happens is when you're playing in the playground, you're feeling at peace. You're feeling powered. You're feeling very comfortable. When you're not playing the playground, or you're trying to figure out how to get into it, then you're feeling uncomfortable. And I'm seeing now, Dr. Laura, I'm seeing so many fun faces. So you either absolutely agree or disagree, and either one is fine. What do you think? You got to I want to hear you through the mic. The way we do the mic, I think, is you do the mic through the Clubhouse, and that actually means I need to mute my mic on on StreamYard too, so that the streamed audience can hear me. Okay, Dr. Laura, what's your thoughts?
Yeah. Well, I have my mic off on StreamYard. I have my mic on Clubhouse, so there's no echo. Well, I guess that's a great question, and I guess based on what I'm hearing right now, what I'm feeling right now, and what I'm seeing right now is whose playground am I playing on? Am I in your playground or protecting your stage in your room as a moderator? Thank you so very much for the invitation. What's my job? So who hears me? Who am I serving? As opposed to, is it my playground? It's like, let's say, regardless of whether or not you these are my rules. If you don't like it, you don't have to stay for dinner. So essentially, what's allowed on the stage? Who's allowed to come up to the stage, for example? It's not my job to figure that out. My job is to serve you. As a person who's been invited as a guest, I've accepted that invitation. So if you're talking about the what does it say, the not peripheral, whatever, the playground in the schoolyard, well, it's the school's playground, but doesn't mean I get to, I can take chalk on the sidewalk maybe and make a foursquare and hopscotch, but I can't necessarily take paint. That's not cool if it were my driveway. So that's that. Depends on where the W. So who, what, when, where, why, and how it ends with the W. So it's okay.
That's interesting. So let's do it. Let's say it a different way, because you were answering the question. There are two questions, and I think what Adrian's statement was, and it's for her internally, her playground, right? Is she actually playing on in terms of living your values? And I'm going to say, for those of you on stage, Lucas, when you come on up, or John, for those living your values, I want you to talk about your playground, like how you play and how you fit in and how you set. And so in terms of this, Dr. Laura, yeah, it's always comfortable. You want to be good for the person who invited you, the host, but I'm going to say, this particular thing is, it's in terms of living your values. What's your playground? Like, where do you play? And do you, in terms of how Adrian responded to that, does that resonate with you? Or how would you make changes to it? And then after that, we'll have Lucas come and join us.
Oh, I would not make changes to anything what anybody else said, because that's their reality, and that would be me shitting on someone. I don't like to shit on anybody. So that said, I think pretty much like the capstone of what she said. The biggest thing that I hear, though, is if it's my playground, is in my skin. So wherever I go, I carry myself. That's number one. So I have to live my integrity. I have to live my values on a daily basis. You can see me on the phone, or I'm sorry, you can hear me on the phone and see my picture, but am I carrying my values? I love Lisa Nichols. Your conviction and your convenience do not live on the same street. So if you have a conviction and you believe in something so deeply, it just resonates in your aura, it's an aura almost. You have to take that with you. If you don't, you could possibly be a fair weather friend. Do you maintain integrity and consistency reliably? I don't know if that helps, Adrian. I hope so. This is Dr.
Laura. Thank you. Lucas Root, I always love how you introduce yourself. So how are you, man?
Morning. I'm well. How's the sound?
Actually, oh yeah, that's right. Sounds great. I forgot it didn't sound good last time. So yes, awesome.
Same headset, same phone. I never am sure why the sound goes from good to bad, but I'm glad it's good right now.
Yeah. Sorry, Dr. Laura is giving me signs, and I just, given that we're on the audio thing as well, she said, may I invite? The answer is yes. Please invite people to join, and please invite people to jump on stage with us.
So good morning, Lucas Root. Brands who don't execute are the clients that typically find me. And today we're talking about leaders living their values. Well, I actually have a recent experience that is a fun one, maybe to open up some conversations. I had a weekend of extraordinary burnout last weekend. I turned off my phone. I turned off my computer. I didn't answer anything. I didn't talk to anyone, which is a good thing. It's what I needed, but I didn't really make the decision. I'm sharing this in vulnerability. I didn't really make the decision to do that. It happened to me. There was no decision. And the result of that, to some degree, was that I missed some of my commitments. And I didn't let people know that I was going to miss those commitments. They weren't terribly bad commitments to miss. It was a holiday weekend, being a little bit late on doing work that I might have gotten done over the holiday weekend probably didn't ruin any relationships or set me back at all. But I'm bringing this up again to be vulnerable, but also to point out that sometimes life happens to us, and it's not necessarily about how we handle when life happens to us, a car accident, or getting so extraordinarily burnt out that you can't even look at your phone to answer questions or text messages or emails. it happens. It happens to everyone at some point. It certainly happened to me a week ago. And the result of that was that I was not within my ideal optimal value for that time.
And Lucas, can I say, because I was two of those commitments that you didn't fulfill. And can I say, because you and I I'm going to start with credibility, but because you and I trust each other, because you and I know each other well enough, when you didn't show up to make your commitment, I knew I did do a follow through with you, but I knew there was something wrong, but I knew there wasn't something wrong that was life threatening, but I knew there was something wrong. And I was like, okay, he's not going to make this. I need to go into backup mode. And I think that's what I felt from a partner perspective, is I didn't feel like you're letting me down, because it's not normal for you. It's not something you would have done it out of spite or anything. It's just something you need. And I'm like, he needs it. Got it. Let me move on. What do I do next? How do I move forward?
Thank you. Where I appreciate that, Mitchell. Where I was going with this is that sometimes, in order to be credible, you have to pick up the pieces on the back end of something that happened. And that's being open and honest and vulnerable about an experience that you went through, which is partly what I'm doing right now, right? Being open, honest, and vulnerable about experience that I went through recently, and accepting that that's sometimes the way that things shake out.
Was there a lesson to learn from this for you? Is there something that you take away from it?
What I'm trying to share, and perhaps not so well, is that to be credible, sometimes you have to be credible. Sometimes you have to be credible backwards.
You mean to yourself?
Right? Sometimes the whatever it is, life happens. Incredible burnout might hit you, and you might be a few days off the phone just because that's what has to happen. It's just what has to happen, and you have to pick up the pieces on the back end and be credible afterwards.
I like that. Does somebody, Dawn Marie, Nadia, Dr. Mina, do you want to share on that?
Hi, this is Dawn Marie.
Oh, Dawn Marie, please.
Hi, Lucas. I really appreciate what you're saying right now. I reached incredible burnout, and it really had me questioning my values and showing up, because as a coach, you don't show up, you lose serious credibility. And not only was I in burnout, I had an untreated seizure disorder that was making me forget things. I would go to put something in the calendar, and between knowing what I was supposed to put on the calendar and picking up the pen or whatever, the entire thought process was gone. It was breaking thought patterns. So right in the middle of a sentence, it's not like, gee, I know I was going to say something. It was like just blank, no thought whatsoever. And the stress from that made it almost difficult to function in my life, let alone in my business. Being able to say I can't right now, and in the coaching industry, the word can't is taboo. And I kind of had to get over that, because for me, it was a reality. I can't do some of these things. It's physically, emotionally, and mentally impossible for me to do some of the things that I'm required to do. I can't do them. Then it's my values. not do them and charge other people for it. I came to because I had an open heart. I was willing to look at. Am I in the matrix?
You are. It might be me.
I've got the red.
You're doing good.
Am I okay? Am I back?
You're doing great, and better. I don't know if it's me.
Better.
Yeah, it's better. No, it's not me. So it might be you. Not sure.
The red bar went away. I'm not sure where I was when I stopped.
Oh, wow.
Damn, you were still in it. Well, I'll just kind of go back a little bit and hopefully I catch up where I was. In short, I was physically and mentally and emotionally challenged with being able to do some things and recognizing I can't, which is a taboo in the coaching industry. I decided it was in my value system to make decisions whether I was going to charge for my services or stop. But being able to look at myself honestly, and that is one of my value systems, is being able to see myself in an honest light. Then I looked at some things and I said, okay, you really can't. And it's okay. Because I looked at it honestly, without shaming myself, solutions came. And a brilliant solution came. Hire an assistant. Hire somebody to help you do the things that you really can't, and don't shame yourself because it's a little too difficult. And that stress level came down and I began to function better. So I really believe when we honor ourselves, solutions come. And then we're more attractive to people and we can show up in a more credible way. And I simply went back with honesty to some of those people I had flaked on. I said, look, this is the situation. And I've made reparations. I'm hoping we can continue. And it didn't damage me. So I hope that this brought value to somebody. It brought value to me to actually talk about it and remember that powerful decision. And thanks for giving me the mic for a few seconds.
Oh, my goodness. Don Marie, I'm sinking in my chair. Thank you for the honest share. And I believe being open to this, and Lucas, thanks for opening the floor in this way. Being open to this is so powerful. And I love that, being honest with yourself first. And then it's basically going to the people who really do know or trust, know, and love you, and telling them the truth, being vulnerable, tell them that you had the intent and commitment to do the right thing, and something happened, and here's how you'd like to fix it. I thank you. That was a beautiful share. Wow.
Thank you for that.
You're welcome.
Hi, this is Nadia.
Hi.
I'd love to jump in. I think everything that we're talking about here is so important because, being entrepreneurs, it can be exhausting. We can definitely burn out, and then of course subconsciously judge ourselves because we can compare ourselves to other people. And I think that authenticity is so important here. Some of the values that we have to practice in order to be credible is authenticity, just like you mentioned, Don Marie, even Lucas, your share was very authentic. And being authentic with ourselves first, and then being authentic towards other people. And really, our beliefs create our reality. I think that we were so conditioned to believe that our experiences only include everything that we see, hear, feel from our senses. But there's so much more going on that we can tap into in this physical world if we just believe. So if my belief is that I have to be everywhere in order to succeed and to get seen and to get clients and all that, then that's exactly what I'm going to experience in the physical world. But if I believe that, living my life and practicing self-care and taking the time out, and yes, we have to be consistent, but to just really tap into our feminine side and our feminine energy and just say, you know what, I'm going to release now and just allow and make room for that. Energy is real, and this is how attraction happens. It's not just about, logic and problem solving and to-do lists. That's the masculine energy. So those are my thoughts so far. Thanks for having me here. I'm Nadia and I'm complete.
Thank you, Nadia. Lucas, as a male, I heard this feminine energy and I go, dude, you've got to say something.
I thought that was beautiful. I don't think I need to say something.
No.
I will. This is Dr. Laura. Can I say something about that?
I love to.
This is feminine that I want it because this is the hard stuff. I can go and do all the grunting stuff and get sweaty and all that crap, and all that stuff. At the same time, that's the easy stuff to just get out physically. This is the hard stuff to sit through. If you can sit through this struggle sometimes, the hard stuff when you're actually being transparent and vulnerable, if you can sit through this stuff and risk that, because this goes a hell of a lot more deep than just flexing a muscle. This is our heart muscle, people. This is what I was waiting for all morning long. Thank you so much, Mitchell. I thank you. This is Dr. Laura.
Well, you're welcome. Yeah, I agree. Nadia, thank you again for that. I guess I don't sort of think about feminine and masculine energy in that way. I know it's classified that way. I just think about being human. Right. And human is having compassion, and human is having empathy, and human is being a servant leader. And so, and I think what people often forget is the real important element of serving yourself first, right? Not in a selfish way, but you have to be good for yourself, because then, as you mentioned, things happen, Lucas, and everyone. Wow. Dr. Mina Joe, would you like to?
Good morning.
Good morning. Hi.
Yes, I'd like to chime in. And I was listening to a few of the conversations, and forgive me, I am at the gym and I'm passing the daycare area.
I loved it, by the way.
None of my kids, mine are adults, but it's a little noisy. So I will say that when it comes to credibility, and there is right now, I'm in education. So when it comes to being an entrepreneur, I would have to say that I choose to work for a school district. It's my choice. And one day when I decide to retire, I will do this from a different perspective. And the credibility of connectedness and knowing that when enough is enough, to take that break is huge. Right now we have what's called the great resignation of teachers, because teachers are not feeling credible. They're feeling exhausted. They're feeling they have to learn exponentially. And you have to take a step and say, no is okay. No may not mean, it may mean not right now. Putting a boundary there and reflecting. I personally get exhausted, and taking a break is okay. And I think that when you get into a situation where you feel like you have to have perfectionism, that's when you know you need to stop, because no one is perfect. And if you're in a situation where you are working in a business, company, school district, whatever, and you feel like you're being pushed to perfectionism, no one's perfect. And being credible means owning that you can't, means owning that you shouldn't, means owning that I'm available at this time, and owning that you should be paid for your services. And if it's somebody that's pushing back, that's I'm out, I don't need you. But moving into a situation where knowing and relaxing and saying, okay, it's time for me to do what's next. It's time for me to push into that. But there is nothing like the feeling of looking for someone to be perfect. But credibility is knowing what you know, offering that information, and not feeling like you have to overly prove it because you have the research, you may be a veteran at it. So that's where I am with being just credible. But, for me, I have a doctorate. I have a doctorate in education. In specifically STEM education. So I look at that research, but if somebody's questioning me, I'm going, here's a doctorate, look at the quantitative research. But typically they can't, and they don't even understand it. So being able to put it in layman's terms, being able to offer it to people where they could hear it, and you said servant leader, I would even offer transformational, and with a perspective of professional capital, navigational understanding, and that human capital of being empathetic and being a part of a community. Connectiveness is huge. And this is a platform that allows it, because many of us wouldn't know each other if it wasn't for an app like this. So, I mean, and I'm finished for now.
Wow. Dr. Laura is, so I'm seeing her face because we're streaming live on video, and you really impacted her with your words, and thank you for that. And then we'll do Nadia next. Dr. Laura, did you want to comment on that?
Well, when you see my face, it's like if you can just imagine in your mind's eye how I sound on an audio, and then if you could magnify that probably times 10, I've been told video audio, and so it's just
yes. Can I say yes? Yes.
What?
Oh no!
I'm just, I am just so saturated with this right now. It just keeps getting better. And you just shared, and just it's like it's growing. Oh no, sorry, that was Dr. Mina. It just keeps growing and growing. And what you said, the whole thing about even just incredible. Dropping my son off at the childcare to work out at the gym just because I work there, so I can get extra hours. And I mean, it's just like, I don't want to go into detail right now about that, because this is so about gratitude for Mitchell and this room, because it just wasn't here earlier on the app, for me anyway. I'm still trying to pin people. You can't good comments. I can't get it in. So I'll just say that. Thanks for letting me share. This is Dr.
Thank you.
The pin link is there's a glitch. You can't see the enter where you can pin it. So there's a glitch. You can't do it right now.
Oh, bummer. Well, thank you. Now we know. So I probably, let's see, I think I'm streaming live on LinkedIn. What I'll do for those people who know me on LinkedIn, I'll put the link there. And maybe I'll do that going forward in case you want to join me on video. Nadia, you had raised your hand before, and I wanted to make sure that if you had something to say that you could jump in.
Oh, thanks, Mitchell. I just shared what I wanted to say, and yeah, that's about it for now. This is a great conversation.
Yeah, everything is.
I'd love to hear your. Actually, sorry, Mitchell. I'd love to hear your thoughts. You were asking Lucas to say something about that feminine and masculine energy. I think people, express it in different ways, but that's just how it's kind of explained. It doesn't really represent like a gender thing. It's more like just represents the duality of life, really. So I don't really get caught up in the explanation of it all. It's just like how I experience it, in my opinion. So I'd love to hear your opinion on that, Mitchell.
Yeah, it's really interesting. So by the way, thanks for suggesting that. I look at humans as humans. I don't see anything. I just see somebody in front of me, right? So I don't all the stereotypes of what people have, and I don't even need to throw out what they are. We know what they are. I don't see those. I just feel what I feel when I'm in front of somebody, whether it's physically or virtually, is are they in alignment? Do they feel like they're in alignment? And if they're not in alignment, then how they manifest that, and I do agree, male energy often manifests itself in a different way than female energy. And so it helps me understand who people are a little bit more. And I think the best things we could learn as men, the best things we could learn is to harness the really cool, powerful feminine energy that deals with empathy, that deals with comfort, that deals with food and shelter, and then incorporate that with living your purpose with clarity and focus and power. And so I'm not uncomfortable saying I made a mistake, because if I did, I do. I'm not uncomfortable getting feedback I'm in the middle of building a framework and a formula, and I love what I do. And I'll give you one example. One of my friends who comes on when he can, a guy by the name of Raji Sethi. I did work with Raj, and I used to call this thing called a CPOP, a customer point of pain. And Raj comes on after I do the work with him, and I gave him we came up with a great, phenomenal CPOP for him. Raj's CPOP is game changers wanting their secret sauce. Like, God, that is so powerful. And Raj says something to me right afterwards. And he goes, Mitchell, I don't care what you call it. I'm calling it customer pointed possibilities. And I go, oh, okay. And, I think if I was the old Mitchell many, many moons ago that had this ego and focus, and I told so many people it's customer pointed pain versus customer pointed possibilities, I would have sort of tried to hold on to my guns and fight that super cool comment. And you know what? All I did immediately is I go, oh my God, that's fantastic. I'm with you. Thank you. And now when I say those words, I think of Raji Sethi. And Lucas, you could take this in a different direction, but you've seen me do this a lot of times. Is I think we grow when we co-create. We grow when we allow people in and we share, and we're better together.
Yeah, and thanks, Mitchell, for explaining that. And I also wanted to add that when I talk about feminine and masculine energy, I'm not talking about men and women, because as a woman, I have a lot of male energy. So it's just, sorry? Hello, I'm hearing this. Oh, okay. And oh, sorry. One more thing I wanted to say. Oh my God, what was it? Oh yes, the part where you said that you don't see anything. I think that's definitely the way a lot of people approach things, and then a lot of people approach things in a different way. I've heard people talk about racism in the way that, people say that, oh, I don't see race, and then other people say, well, they should see race because we are different and we want to be seen as that, but just not judged. And it's like a lot of times people think that they're doing people of color a favor by saying, I don't see race, but they don't see it that way. They see it's okay to see that we're different. So everything that we share here on this platform, I think I take everything with a grain of salt, because we all are coming together with our own opinions, and we filter obviously our opinions through our experiences and who we are. So I really don't think there's none of this is based on fact. It's just based on how we see things, and there's no right or wrong. So thanks for clearing it up, Mitchell.
You're welcome. And by the way, loved your comment, which is you need to see the person and who they come to the table with, right? Which may be a different color than me, or a different gender than me, or a different way to speak than me, right? That comes. Thank you. That's very important.
Can I speak to that? This is Ducky.
Yeah, go ahead.
No, I defer. Go ahead. I've got to.
I do. You're right, Mitchell. I do want to take that in a different direction.
I thought so. I queued it up, dude.
You did. You queued it up. Thank you. What you said was the best thing we can do is to learn to work with the energies. And I don't agree. And I love you, and I don't agree.
Awesome.
Most people spend most of their time in a state of insecurity because they're missing some things that are really, really important in their life, and probably they don't even know it. Most people don't have a meaningful, active support system of humans in their life that support them, that make them feel valued and make them feel secure and safe, just because they're humans in their life that are there to support them. And because of that, most people spend their entire lives from that insecurity acting in a way that we look at now quite normally as, unfortunately, as masculine energy, but it's not. it's reactive, it's broken, it's unhealthy. It's not unhealthy because it's masculine energy. It's unhealthy because it's somebody who's not secure, because they're missing something. They're missing their tribe. I'm not using the buzzword tribe. I'm using the literal word tribe. They're missing the 6 or 7 people that will literally pick up a spear and go hunting with them, that will stand there and hug them when they need to be hugged, that will take care of their baby for a day because that's what has to happen, that will go to their tent and help them heal their stinging nettle wounds. And I'm going very, very basic here intentionally, because having a tribe should be as basic to us as having food and water. And if you don't have those 6 or 7 or 8 people that will pick up a spear and go hunting with you, then you are insecure. And you have to reconsider all of your actions, all of them, throughout the entirety of your existence. Everything that you do starts from that insecurity. You have food and water and you think you're good. No, you have food and water, but you don't have a tribe, which is just as necessary. So the first thing that we can do, Mitchell, isn't learn to work with those energies. The first thing that we can do is to make sure that we are not insecure, and then work with those energies. Make sure that we have a tribe, and then work with the energies. Make sure that we have what we need to be a whole human on a daily basis, and then work with those energies.
I like it.
I'd like to add to that if that's possible.
Of course. Would love to.
I'll respond to that. Lucas, again, your wisdom is very uplifting and inspiring. And I believe my interpretation of what you're saying is on Maslow's hierarchy of needs. And yes, food and water is at the basic level. And just up from that is security. And the next one up is love and belonging. And you can't really fill the next ones of esteem and career and make your way up to self-actualization if you don't have the basic needs met. You've got to fulfill the needs of one rung before you go up to the next one. You just can't. It will just keep pulling you back down until you do fulfill those needs. And in my own experience, it was like trying to launch a career, but feeling insecure without a tribe in myself. So what you're saying really, really rings true for me. And I had to go back and revisit some of those big holes and chunks of emptiness in those bottom rungs before I could go up to the next one and even consider being successful at some kind of career, because the belief system just wasn't there. The foundation for it was in shambles. And I think we make a big mistake when we don't recognize that in the client that we're dealing with and help them see where their foundation, which rung has been left unfulfilled. Maybe they had parents that were drug addicts and there wasn't enough food in the house because the food money went to drug money. And now they're still running off of that. There isn't enough, but they want this wonderful career as blank, blank, blank. And they just keep going back down to bottom because they didn't fulfill the needs of a lower rung. Thank you. Thank you, Lucas. Thank you, everybody here, for being really, I love this room. I've been looking for an inspirational room on Clubhouse for a while, and this has been fulfilling. Thank you.
I'm going to, if please follow me if you can. And we do this every Saturday. I'd love to have you back. You're fantastic. Oh my goodness.
Thank you.
The private, I was going to say the private comment that Dr. Laura said to me was in all caps, deep.
I need to watch the replay. You're telling my behavior. It was like, what? Guys, you're killing me here. Every single time, Dahmer, you said exactly what I wanted to say. And actually, Lucas, you said that before me. I think I have it in the group chat too. I said, I'm glad. Oh, Dahmer, I think I'm glad you said it, so I didn't have to. Or I was not yet. And then you said that. And then Lucas is dropping bombs. This has been 45 minutes already. This is nuts. This room is so authentic. I'm church.
Well, I know you know what I'm talking about. I know what you're talking about. I know we talked before this, and I know I've known you forever. You know what I mean?
I have something quick to say about tribe. I love that we started talking about this because it's something where I don't really have an opinion yet, but I kind of like think about it in different ways. Like, I can honestly say when I reached my rock bottom, when I was, creating transformation in my life, I did not have a tribe. And I've never really had a tribe since I was young. Like, I lived a very lonely childhood and I had a lot of trauma. But when I reached this point in my life, in my mid-30s, I did this alone. And I feel like it really made me really strong. And not to say that our trauma definitely just makes us strong. I mean, we have to do something about it in order for that to happen. So I did it without a tribe. I experienced really harsh times without a tribe, and it really just kind of pivoted me and made me rise to higher, whatever success. So I really don't know, because I agree about the whole, we have to feel like connected with other people because we're wired for connection. But then there's this other part of me that thinks, well, maybe that's because that's our ego, because we're living in the physical world. And if we're attached to our physical body in the physical world, then yes, we're going to need a tribe, and we're going to feel that lack if we don't have it. But when we're really connected to source, we feel that inner strength and are able to rise above even without a tribe. So that's why I really don't know yet, and I don't have an opinion on it.
Ooh.
That's a fun one. So,
please, Lucas,
Nadia, would you say that source provided for your tribe needs?
No, I wouldn't say that. It was like a connection with source, but not like, hey, universe, send me my tribe so that I can feel the connection in the physical world with other physical bodies around me. No, is the answer, Lucas.
Let me ask that in a different way. You're pointing out in a beautiful way that there is more than just the physical body, and I'm responding by saying, is it possible that your tribal needs were fulfilled by non-physical body, by source, by...
Yes, that's really...
It was amazing. It was amazing reframe. Oh!
Yeah, that's really good. I agree, Lucas, totally. Wow, that's like a breakthrough. Like, it clears it up for me. I didn't even think about it in that way consciously.
Where'd you come from?
Wow. I think what I'm loving, by the way, Lucas is really good at helping generate aha moments, is you were ready for it, though. And you were ready for it. And by being ready for it is you not only wanted something, you were ready to receive something, and you heard it. And that's the most important thing, is many times we get that beautiful gift handed to us. And I'm going to say from Gus, God, universe, spirit. We get a gift handed to us from Gus. And we're not ready to receive. We don't feel it. We don't see it. Elizabeth, welcome. Did you want to contribute?
Thank you for inviting me to the stage. I just came in, and I really am feeling the vibe here. And the only person I know on the stage is Dr. Laura. And every time I'm in her presence, I know she gives quality value and wholeheartedness and love being around. I love being in her presence and haven't been in a while. And, I am very much a wholehearted spiritual person. and have traveled a similar journey, and I can identify with her, and I just want to listen for a bit more, but definitely want to contribute. So I just popped in, very happy she welcomed me to the stage, and I know I want to contribute, but want to contribute in value and quality and heart. So I just want to listen a bit longer, but thank you.
Oh.
Okay, I don't think it's just because she said that, but seriously, I think it's one of the best rooms I've ever been in. Not because she just said that, but it's like I don't want to say it like that, so I'm not going to say, the intimate stuff, like that stuff, but it's like, oh my God, it's like he's getting better, and this is so fulfilling. I hope you're feeling, not because she just said that, hello there, Darian, I missed you, actually, I saw your picture, I'm like, what? And with this, is anybody else feeling something here? Am I just whacked out? I can't be. No, I know, I can't be.
Like so emotional right now.
I know.
Seriously. And I was saying in the front channel that I haven't been in your presence for a long time either, Dr. Laura. It's so funny.
Oh, not for me. No, does it feel like there's this current, like there's electricity? Do you feel it? Maybe it's just me. I don't care. I'm gonna take yours in, or maybe I'm sucking up yours.
No,
I don't know. Mitchell, let me just say, I think you came up with your saying. I don't know how you use the words. Creating aha moments. I'm feeling a little jealous right now. I didn't have to tell the room that, although because I'm feeling jealous, that means that I'm threatened by something. So I'm going to be transparent too. I'm like, oh my God, that's what I want to do. I hope I do that. Creating aha moments like that. I witnessed what just happened with y'all, and they're like, wow, and Lucas, what you just did. And Mitchell said, did you hear it? Did you hear it? Creating aha moments. Somebody else said, I'm like, oh my God, Mitchell, that's your thing. And then I'm like, damn it, I want that. I'm kind of jealous. So it's that bizarre and what? Just telling myself, I love you right now. This is the best church ever. Thanks. This is Dr. Laura.
Dr. Laura, I love you too. and amen.
If I can come right out and say what I am manifesting and desire is I'm calling in my tribe. I heard the word tribe, and I'm fine-tuning and calling in my tribe that I've been walking through the forest, and I'm all about love. That's my purpose. But fine-tuning exactly who my tribe is, I haven't exactly found it. It's they're there. And people like Dr. Laura are definitely in my tribe. And maybe more of you are in my tribe right here. But I haven't found the collection of women and or men and they're looking for me, but I'm fine-tuning it, honing in. The GPSs but I'm definitely, my manifestation, my attraction is high now. And I've been circling the campfire, so to speak, and it's been broad. But now it's really close, feeling the warmth, and trying to draw the people in. And I need helpers to help me do that, or guide me, or I'm not sure of the words, but I'm fine-tuning to bring the attraction in. And I guess I need guidance.
Oh wow! Everything resonated.
Oh my God! I just wrote that to Mitchell, and I said, vibration, definitely a resonance within the room. Oh my God! I don't think you need to be guided. I think you're feeling it. Don't think it. Just feel it. Embody it. I mean, you're that spirit. You think it is human. You have that spiritual moment. At least that's what it sounds like. That's what it feels like to me. I think I interrupted you, Nadia.
No, I'm going to say yes on this, Nadia. Let me just. What's really interesting is we just don't let our bodies receive. If you're really in tune and you're feeling like you're there, this manifestation, things that, like, I loved, Elizabeth, how you said it. Let me tell you what I'm manifesting right now. Awesome. Lucas and I just spent 2 days on this thing, the Ultimate Credibility Bootcamp, and we had this feeling for 2 days. The thing we said immediately afterwards, we got on the phone, we go, oh my God, I've never been in a room where we've had 100% engagement from everyone in the room. It was
First
like,
time ever.
Crazy. So I'm going to say this room feels really, Lucas, what do you think? This room feels really good, right? This is like we just started it and all of a sudden, voila, it's here.
This is turning into something beautiful, Mitchell.
So what I'd like you to try to do, and I don't know how to bottle this up. I expect this. I want this. And when you go somewhere and you want this and you're not feeling it, maybe it's time to go somewhere else. You should want this. Or maybe it's time that you try to co-create this with whoever's there. And I believe it is in our powers to want to have something that feels comfortable like this, that feels like we're surrounded by people who trust, know, and love us. That's what I want.
I wanted to say something, and I totally agree with you, Mitchell, about expecting it and that we want to be around those kind of people. And everything Elizabeth said, wow, it just totally resonated. And the way I do it is just to practice the art of manifestation techniques and really expecting that from the universe. And maybe, like Lucas said, really realizing that we have an invisible tribe, our spirit guides that are with us. And when we are experiencing that and feeling it, that's what will attract that back to us in the physical form. We'll be able to experience it and to be conscious of it, because we already are experiencing it in the physical world, and now we're just observing it in the physical world. So really just having a clear request from the universe and saying, hey, I want to experience my tribe and observe my tribe in the physical world, and I expect this by I'll give you 48 hours to find me my tribe, kind of thing. This is what I do whenever I want to manifest something, and I practice all of the laws together. It's like a no-brainer. So yeah, I just wanted to add that in. Thanks.
I love that. And so let's do that together. Let's all just say and manifest what's next in our lives. And that's this. We want this. We want to surround ourselves with people on a very consistent level where we are us, the true you, the one that you can love, and the one then that makes it easier for you to love others. How does that sound?
Hell yeah.
Collectively, we're so powerful. So I love that, Mitchell. I think we actually should do this together. There's more power collectively.
I just threw in it. I'm going to come back here and we could come back every week. Connect to me here and follow me. I'll make sure you're up as a speaker, so you get asked to join. So it's the same time every week. And no, I'm not going to. Dr. Laura's asking me, am I ending the room? But probably sometime soon, because keeping it about an hour-ish is a good amount of time. So I think maybe we should end the room, but I'm not going to say it's gone. We're going to just go around the speakers and say, hey, how'd you like to summarize? I put in the chat, Credibility Nation is just a membership community I run outside. It is $100 a year if that works for you. If financially things are stuck for you, let me know. Just reach out directly. I'd love to have you there, because then we do announcements of things that we do so you could play with it. But that's really, this is that feeling that I want. This is where I want us to start a wave of every place we go. We have this. we have something that we go, wait, I want to do this because it's going to make the rest of my day, or maybe the rest of my weekend, or it's going to make the rest of my week. That would be amazing. Holy moly. So, Byron, you jumped into the speaker thing. Does that mean you walked out and made yourself available to say hello?
I did, you guys. I couldn't resist. I just, the energy that Dr. Laura openly expresses is just proof that she does receive it, you know, and I just wanted to come up here and commend that kind of platform. You spoke about the receiving part, Mitchell, and I just know that it releases me and all that I see in bias and things like that when I receive that energy from other people. So just being aware of that, really, it's just gold. But yeah, I appreciate it, Dr. Laura and Mitchell, for holding all this. So thank you guys. I just wanted to come up here and say that.
I'm so honored. Thank you. Vilma, you had undone your mic.
Hello, everybody. I am so glad that Dr. Laura pinned me into this room. There's no doubt there, Michelle. You guys definitely have something there. I mean, wherever Dr. Laura is, she just dropped some wisdom. So I just came right in, and I don't regret it at all. She's so energetic. This lady, this is what I'm aspiring to. And if she's part of this kind of energy, I think it's a good place to be. So, I'm really happy to be here, and I can feel the authenticity here, the honesty, the people willing to help and to reach out. I can feel the love, and I really resonate with Elizabeth. What she said about Dr. Laura is so true. I feel the very same way. Thank you so much for allowing me to speak, and I yield my mic.
Oh, Vilma, thank you. And hey, I have to say, search me out on social. So it's I'm Mitchell Levy, and if you feel the energy listening to her, oh my goodness, you got to watch her too. Laura, you are beautiful human, and you wear your energy, and I'm a visual, so I needed. It's like,
you tell them what's happening right now. Then you tell them what's happening right now, because they can see it if they want to. They don't even expect this. What are you doing?
Yeah, you are. So she's very emotional, and I would just say she's emotional and appreciates the love. And I think giving some love to Dr. Laura would be something that we should all do. If you want to make it a week-long exercise, every other day, just say, I love you. That would be beautiful. So I'm going to say right now, Dr. Laura, I love you.
Dr. Laura, I love you.
Dr. Laura, I love you, and I will always love you. Appreciate you.
I'd love to pour into Dr. Laura, but can I share? Because I need to leave really quickly. I don't want to. There's the red bar. Am I gone?
Yes, please. No, please. I can hear you.
Dr. Laura, you are my takeaway from this room in the sense that there are people who understand the word authenticity. And then there are people who are authentic because they understand it on a heart level. And that's what makes you credible. There's no false pretense going on with you. You do put it all out there. And I think the world needs to change from people on this app and on other platforms who hear something, think they understand it, and then regurgitate it. And people who understand real authenticity. And you're an example of that, and you are an inspiration. Thank you, guys. It's really been wonderful being here. Have a great day.
Oh, Marie, thank you so much. Thanks for showing up. Really appreciate that. Deep breath. Just looking at comments, I want to say, Gary Morrissey, thank you so much. Glad you were able to join us on social media. Faye Solomon had a question, and then I want people to sort of help us on the wrap up. I'm going to say, and I think we could all answer this. Her question was, does the tribe need to be in person, or can it be as effective online?
What do you think right now, Bonnie? What's going on with you?
I was just asking that question online, and I wanted somebody to say, duh. I think the answer is if you what happens maybe when we're in person is sometimes people feel safer and they open up more. But the thing is, it's if you're in a safe environment, people open up, and if people open up and you feel their heart, I don't know. If you feel the love of somebody else, the judge doesn't exist. It's the sage, to use the positive intelligence stuff. It's the people who you know are there because they love you and they care about you. All right. So we heard from Byron, Vilma. Anyone else want to wrap up before we close for the day?
I got one more thing, if I could jump in there on this topic.
Oh, sure, Byron, please do. And flash your mic if you're on a speaker stage, and I'll call you in order I see it. All right, Byron.
Excellent. I appreciate it, Mitchell. The credibility, when I think of that, what I think of is kind of where credit gets extended, in our finances. And the ability is to have that extended to yourself from yourself. And understanding what that return value is, that it gets expanded. Like in. Hold with that, and knowing the abilities that we can have with credit. But if you focus that into you and how you function and how you perform, the world's your oyster. It just keeps growing and growing. It never goes backwards. So that's kind of where I would go with the credibility. And I am getting called back to work, so I got to go.
All right, buddy. Have a good rest of the day. Georgina, were you next?
Good evening, or good morning, good afternoon. I've come in late to the room, but I just wanted to say thank you again to Dr. Laura for just inviting me up, because I'm fairly new to your group, well, very new. For the last 10 minutes or so. But the vibe is just amazing, and the energy flow. And I'm in the UK, and I've been just exploring, doing rooms from an authentic viewpoint, and not trying to sell anything, but just understand and explore more about psychology and just how we're moving through and navigating through our lives and our journeys. And I came across Dr. Laura, and just I am a fan as well. I have to say that I'm, with everybody else, it's whatever you've got and however you inspire people with your energy and your wisdom, it's supporting me, and it's making me feel or have more courage to then go out and find my way as well. And it's about finding your own way, but then also with that is finding your tribe. And with that question as well, with the online piece and on face-to-face, I think it's both, but online and with Clubhouse, I've found an extraordinary level of frequency or energy and things which I would never have learned so quickly, I guess, or authentically. I know that there's a lot of different people out there on the Clubhouse platform, but once you find spaces, especially like this, and with people who you can trust, I feel very grateful for that. So thank you. I just wanted to say that.
All right, you're welcome. And I'm going to say Saturday nights, either during dinner or before dinner, grab a glass of wine or whatever your favorite beverage is, and join us every Saturday. We'll love to have you, Georgina.
Thanks very much. It's great to meet you, Mitchell, as well.
Thank you. Same here. And Elizabeth, we're going to make it through our speakers. Elizabeth, you're here. Did you want to say something before sort of the closing comments as we're wrapping up?
Honey, you're in the Matrix. So sorry. You're in the Matrix, babe. Mitchell, I just wanted to pop up and say hi to Dr. Laura. I saw Dr. Mina. I have a poor connection, so I will be back. So thank you so much for.
All right. Well, we heard some of it, other than a hi to Dr. Laura and poor connection. Thank you. Hope to see you next time. Is anyone else want to share before we go? Adrian, you started off at the beginning, and Lucas, anything particular to say, or are you guys okay?
I'll just say thank you, Mitchell. Again, not to brag, but I had the pleasure and honor of meeting Mitchell actually 5 years ago, which was fantastic. And it allowed, I see Mitchell in a different light, because seeing him on stage and seeing him support a mutual friend of ours was really lovely. And then our staying connected throughout this. And Mitchell, and I'm a fan of Dr. Laura's too. It's amazing how much negativity is on this platform, and I think for all of us to know that there's rooms like this that exist that can not only make us feel good but have us do good in the world too is really fantastic. So Mitchell, the hour a week means so much to all of us, so thank you for having me on the stage, and I really appreciate it, and I like whatever I could do to help you. And if I could just say for everyone to follow the Green Club on top, Credibility Nation, make sure you follow those that you like, and I like going in and following your Instagram and Twitter, but we're all here to build each other up and support each other, and sometimes the support can be as simple as a liking a post or just following someone. So I hope everyone has a
Uh-oh.
That stinks right when you go. They hit that.
It was like you're at this crescendo. It's like the answer. It's like the Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy. The answer to the life, universe, and everything is, and it's like, and then it goes dark. I see two more people. I'm happy for you guys to say hello before I say goodbye. Dr. Yang, did you want to say hello since you're on stage?
Hey, hi, say hello to everyone. I just saw the topic of the room. Sounds to me a very good one. But I just got in. Leaders living their values and showing up credibility. Yeah, I couldn't agree more.
I love it. I would say you could always listen to this replay, because this was a spectacularly beautiful session, and then put on your calendar. Feel free to join us next week, because it really is oh yeah. Dr. Laura, go ahead and say your thing. You have a daily dose you want to talk about.
Yeah, if you could give me 5 minutes, I'm happy to extend the room over my club. I mean, happy to do it in Mitchell's club. This is his Credibility Nation. This is not my club. But if you really wanted to continue the conversation, if people are game, I'm happy to. I can open up another hour room, or an hour. That's no pressure. Just want to make sure everybody's voice is heard. And I know Mitchell's got a life, because he's been with us for over like 2 hours already. So
no, that's all right. And I'm gonna say, Dr. Laura, you're always I'm so comfortable with you. You're always welcome to be in here if you want to continue this, or open up your own room in Credibility Nation. We could figure out how best to do that, but I'd be honored to have you continue.
That would be my honor if you would allow me to do so. Along if Adrian's available, I'd love to have moderator for sure. I'd co-team with her, because if she's available, I mean, I very much love a co-mod.
Oh,
so we can just share it possibly.
Super
if she's
cool.
Available.
Super cool. Well, first of all, I'm going to say, let me do a wrap up, and then I'm going to stop the broadcast on social media, just so we could stop that. But then this particular room, I want to say, for me personally, I've been trying to find my way in terms of, if you haven't seen my TED Talk yet, it was a result of interviewing 500 people on Credibility. And the TED Talk is called "We Are Losing Our Humanity, and I'm Tired of Watching It Happen." And it's just one of those things that if we do nothing more than act credible, we will be more humane to each other. And I don't know why it took me this long to get to the point where on Clubhouse, because what happens is we all follow these marketing cookie cutter approaches. And so when I started the Clubhouse thing, I was taking advice from other people and doing what other people did to be successful in Clubhouse. And then after my second iteration wasn't exactly what I wanted, Lucas talked to me and said, "Mitchell, do you realize that you're not doing what needs to get done? And I go, huh? And he goes, Mitchell. Oh, Dr. Laura helped too, by the way. He goes, Mitchell, you're making it the Mitchell Levy show. And I go, oh, that's not good. And I don't mind. I love moderating and bringing out people's best. But what I really want us all to do is bring out our best of humanity, bring out our best of how we show up every day, bring out our best with to me, that's where the word credibility comes in. And so I'm honored that you're here. I'm just going to say thank you for those who watched on social media. And once again, if you want to be live on video next week, reach out to me. I'll make sure you're on the calendar invite so you can get into the StreamYard and you could be live on video. And nothing more than watching the facial expressions that Laura brings to the table is like that by itself is compelling. And we're live on Facebook, LinkedIn, Twitter, YouTube. And so I'm going to stop that right now. So I'm going to end that broadcast. And
hey, Mitchell,
thanks for joining.
Mitchell, I got a couple words for you.
Stop it. Hey, listen, if you want a little bit of love put on you, this is a great place for it.